The next topic in our series, The Road to Faith, is confusion. I see, but not clearly. One of the most dangerous spiritual conditions is not total blindness. It is seeing, but seeing wrongly. You can attend church, you can read the Bible, you can even say, I believe, and yet you can still see unclearly. Some children live for years believing that their eyesight is normal. To them, a blurred world feels normal. But when they receive glasses for the first time, their reaction can be shocking. Is this what the world is supposed to look like? The problem was not that they could not see anything. It's that they weren't seeing things correctly. That is exactly what happens in Mark 8. In the first scene, we see a blind man. Verses 22 through 26. A blind man is brought to Jesus. Jesus takes him by the hand. He leads him outside the village. He does not heal him publicly. He does not turn the moment into a spectacle. The encounter is personal. Jesus touches him. Then he asks, "Do you see anything?" The man's answer is surprising. "I see people walking around, but they look like trees." He is no longer in complete darkness, but he does not yet have clear sight. His vision is distorted. You must understand, this is not a lack of power. This is intentional teaching. Jesus is teaching the man. He is teaching the disciples. He is teaching us. What is happening here? Just before this event, Jesus says to his disciples, "Do you have eyes but fail to see?" This passage is not only about a blind man, it is also about the disciples. His blindness is physical, their blindness is spiritual. Here is the key statement. Spiritual blindness does not always mean a complete lack of sight. It means distorted perception. You see something, but you interpret it wrongly. Now in the second scene, we see Peter, verses 27 to 29. Jesus asks, "Who do people say that I am?" The disciples give respectable answers. John the Baptist, Elijah, one of the prophets. Then Jesus asks, "But what about you?" Peter answers, "You are the Christ." His answer is correct, but his understanding is incomplete. Immediately following, in verses 31 through 32, Jesus begins to speak about the cross. Peter rejects what Jesus says. Here is the problem. Peter sees, but he does not see clearly. He understands Jesus' identity, but he rejects Jesus' plan. Here is the key statement. You can confess Christ and still reject the cross. The key moment of clarity. Why does Jesus heal the man in two stages? Before the healing describes what is happening in the disciples, because the healing describes what is happening in the disciples. After the first touch, the man begins to see. After the second touch, he sees clearly. Zondervan emphasizes the spiritual sight develops progressively. It does not always happen instantly. It forms over time. But the text also points to one decisive truth. Clarity comes from the cross. Without the cross, you will misunderstand Jesus. You may see him as a healer, a helper, a prophet, but not as the suffering servant. Now, the central idea is you can see Jesus and still misunderstand him. Clarity comes when you accept the cross. In Luke 24, the disciples walk with Jesus, yet they do not recognize him. The problem is not that we can physically see him. They do not understand him. Luke 24:16 says, "But their eyes were kept from recognizing him." Then Jesus says in Luke 24, verses 25 through 27, "How foolish you are, and how slow to believe all that the prophets have spoken. Did not the Christ have to suffer these things?" This is exactly the problem in Mark 8. Now, how can we apply this? You can know Bible verses and still fail to understand what God is doing in your life. You can say, "Jesus is Lord," and still reject his plan when obedience comes costly. You can have genuine faith and still see unclearly. That does not mean you have lost everything. It means you are still in the process. God does not abandon the process, but He does not leave you in confusion either. He touches you again. He continues His work until you see clearly. The question is not simply, can you see? The question is, can you see clearly? You can live your entire life with a distorted view of God, and you can become convinced that that distortion is normal. But when you truly see Him, everything changes.